everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Heidi from My Reading Life, and I'm here today to start a new reading project. So this project is going to take place during the month of August, and it is going to involve me trying to attempt something that I've never attempted before. So lots of folks, including our own Britta Bullard, every once in a while tried to read 30 books in 30 days. Now, I have never even assumed that I could ever read 30 books in 30 days, just because of the way that my life works and the fact the kinds of books that I read, they tend to be longer. I just never thought it was anything that I could aspire to do. But I've had a discussion with Britta, and I have decided to do a soft launch of a project in August to try to read 20 books in 30 days. Like, I still don't think I can do 30 books in 30 days, but I might be able to do 20 books in 20 days. So this is the intro to that project. And so I have some strategies in mind after my discussion with Britta about this project. And I want to try to read books that were already on my TBR, either on my physical TBR or on my Scribd TBR. But I will probably be reading quite a few shorter books, just because it will be impossible to do this if I try to read 1,000-page books all month long. I don't have that kind of stamina. I do have a week vacation, so that should help as well. So this is going to be the introduction. I'm going to talk about, it's already into August, and I've read 3 books, so I'm going to talk about those 3 books, wrap those up, and then you will continue to see vlogs from me throughout the month of August, talking about the books I read and seeing where I get up to in terms of number of books read. So what have I read already so far in August in my attempt to reach 20 books in 30 days? I have finished Ring Shout by Djeli Clark. This was an audiobook I listened to from Scribd. I had been interested in this book for a while because having seen various booktubers read it and review it, and it sounds like right up my alley. It's a fantasy book that sort of looks at Black history from the point of view of African-American demon fighters. I think that is just, I still believe, after reading this book, which I enjoyed very much, that is a brilliant, brilliant premise. So in this book, we're following 3 African-American women who are basically demon hunters, because Ku Kluxes are members of the Ku Klux Klan that are actual demons. Now, not every member of the Ku Klux Klan is a demon in this story, but certain members of them are actual demons, and they can actually identify those demons and kill them through various methods that they have. I apologize if you can hear my husband mowing the lawn in the background right there. So it was a very propulsive narrative. It's a very short book, more of a novella. I believe it's under 200 pages. And it takes place in early 1900s, like right after World War I. But Birth of a Nation has already been a thing. The movie The Birth of a Nation, which was, the renaissance of the Ku Klux Klan in real world America. And so these 3 women are very fully formed, really complex and interesting characters. It works in quite a bit of sort of folklore and other African-American type storytelling and legend type tropes. I thought it was just really well done and a fun read, and something different for the fantasy genre from things that I've read before. Really, really enjoyed that book. I then read Devil in Disguise by Lisa Kleypas, which was a romance novel. I read the ebook. This is book 7 in the Ravenels series, and it is the story of a widowed lady and a Scottish whiskey maker. And so she is a member of the aristocracy. He is not, but they meet and are instantly attracted. He is, of course, a very handsome Scotsman. And I really liked her as a widowed lady, like sort of, she runs her husband's business, their husband that has passed away. She runs his shipping business. She knows what she wants out of life, and she's not afraid to go after it. I really liked her character. I loved, because this was book 7 in the Ravenel series, we got to see a lot of the characters from the previous books. I think Lisa Kleypas does a great job of writing family dynamics, dialogue between family members and longtime friends, which is just so entertaining and just such a fun read. Something I love the most about romance novels are sort of these extended family relations that you get to experience in these romance series. I really enjoyed that. There's lots of attempted murders and secret family members and things like that. It's very melodramatic storyline, not at all believable. Super fun read. So I really enjoyed that. And then the last book that I want to talk about in this video is She Said by Jodi Kantor and Twohey. This is the book about these two ladies who basically broke the story of Harvey Weinstein and his long, like many decades of sexual assault and sexual abuse of people that he worked with and other like Hollywood actresses that he took advantage of at being a big time Hollywood director type person. I really appreciated this book for its insight into journalism and what it takes to like break a story of this magnitude about a really famous wealthy person. The hoops that Kantor and Twohey had to jump through to like get the newspaper to publish this story and to make sure that they had like enough evidence to go public with it. Their work to get victims of this man to step forward and tell their story, and how some of them, you know, chose not to step forward and tell their story, and how the authors supported them in that because they knew it would, you know, there was a chance that it was gonna like blow their lives up. So it tells that whole narrative of, you know, their years worth of investigation into the story and like sort of the journalist viewpoint of it. And that was really fascinating to me, like how that all works. And then a little bit, few chapters at the end, or maybe the last fourth of this book, was about, good gosh, I'm forgetting my words here. Christine Blasey Ford and her coming forward to tell about what Brett Kavanaugh had done to her when they were in school together, and why Blasey Ford decided to come forward, and sort of her naivete as to what was likely to happen to her when she came forward with this. I just thought like it was such a good example of sort of a person who has a relatively good life in America, who is relatively clueless about political things and how the world really works, and who is just like, oh, I should be a good citizen and I should come forward and provide my government with information that they might find helpful to them in their process of trying to confirm a Supreme Court justice, and how she is literally annihilated. Her life is literally annihilated because she tries to do what she feels is the right thing. Just so incredibly enraging, and also just such a good sort of description of like the ridiculousness that is the current political system in the United States. I thought this book was really well done. I blew through this. I thought it was such an interesting read, an interesting perspective that I hadn't really thought about a whole lot, like how journalism happens and how these exposés happen, and journalistic integrity, and like the sort of ethical considerations around a big story like this, and how it works, like how the nuts and bolts of how these things actually work in the real world, I thought was absolutely a fantastic read. I would highly recommend this book. I can see why it got all the praise that it did in the year that it came out, and so really glad that I have now read that book. So that's where I'm at with the start of this 20 books in 30 days project. So what you'll see from me from here on out are a series of vlog videos that I will tell you about the books as I'm reading them, and we will count down together and see how far I get in this project, and come back at the end of the month and see whether or not I was able to do it. We'll see. Who knows? Anyway, I hope you're all doing well and finding some great books to read. I will talk to you later.